Translated, La Posada means inn and shelter, and it recalls the events of the birth of Jesus. I think what's beautiful about the La Posadas, though, and you didn't get the feel in here, is that it's generally not in the church, but it's taken to the streets. And I think that's really, really important, because I think the church in America, and probably the church globally, has done a lot of too much stuff inside and not enough outside, especially in the streets of South America, Central America, Spanish-speaking communities, and I think especially on our borders. So La Posada obviously reenacts Mary's and Joseph's search, and generally when they're out in the streets, they're carrying candles. And they go as the costume characters, door to door, as we shared this evening, which was beautiful. The neighbors participate in the neighborhood in the La Posada, and each one purposefully actually sings the refusal rather than speaks it to Mary and Joseph. And at the very end of the route, of course, is the party and the gathering at the very last house with Bible readings, with food, with cookies, with piñatas, with children. And now the Holy Family has found their home and everybody celebrates. It's a beautiful, beautiful Advent tradition, and one that actually clergy types and immigration reform activists have begun to use to represent the lack of hospitality at the United States-Mexico border. Their version is called La Posada Sin Fronteras, Shelter Without Borders. It uses the exact same songs as the traditional posada, the same readings, the same words. I think what is amazing, probably this evening down on our southern border of Mexico, we find people on both sides of the fence. Both sides of the fence. They're carefully watched by Border Patrol as they begin their reenactment of the Posada on our border, which is much more relevant today than it's ever been. The group on the Mexican side represents Mary and Joseph asking for shelter, while those on the United States side are the innkeepers who repeatedly reject their request for shelter. It contextualizes the drama for here and for now of displaced immigrants. It brings Mary and Joseph and the potential baby Jesus and all the other characters into a reality, into a sacred story of God struggling to enter an inhospitable world. This is an uncomfortable liturgy, I think, at least for me this evening. Set in a location right now where there is so much violence on our border walls. Removes us from the sanity and the insanity and also the sanitized and romanticized modern-day Christmas observances. It recalls the stark realities that faced Mary, faced Joseph on that night long ago. I think most of us would probably imagine that we would welcome Joseph and Mary into our homes. That's our hope, that's our dream. We think we have open hearts and open doors. But La Posada Sin Fronteras reminds us that there are a lot of obstacles that stand in the way of our own paths, our own journey, our own welcome. I've never visited the Middle East, but I imagined that it's a climate not unlike our own Arizona border towns of Nogales, between Palestine and Israel, which is one of the many locations where this takes place. And by the way, our government, strangely enough, recently installed razor wire in February of this year down at Nogales. So for me, it's not difficult to imagine Mary and Joseph's trudging the dusty, dirty, dry wilderness of Nogales or the Middle East, where the border walls stretch for what seem like eternities. The Holy Family plod along, seeking safety from dictators who threaten the life of their son. There they imagine, they know that their God sees them, and they pray that their God will have some sort of mercy on them. And of course, their story in the Posada reading and liturgy and and story really has a happy ending, doesn't it? The innkeeper eventually has a change of heart. He finally recognizes Joseph and opens his door to welcome them inside, albeit a challenging space. And we find these words, enter holy pilgrims. Pilgrims receive this corner, not this poor dwelling, but my heart. Tonight is for joy, for gladness and rejoicing. For tonight we will give lodging to the Mother of God, the Son of God. Those who participate in the La Posada, sin fronteras on the borders, know the story does not have that kind of happy ending. The wall remains. We continue to militarize our border. The doors remain closed to immigration here in the States. There's no innkeeper, or an innkeeper of another name, having a sudden epiphany that, oh, this is the Mother of God herself that we're denying hospitality to. And aren't you all mothers and fathers of God? We reenact this each year, this whole sacred story, not just La Posadas, but the whole narrative of the birth of Jesus. We enact this magical, mystical, mysterious, angel-singing, star-gazing story on the eve of December 25th, when this amazing child was born. Don't we believe? Don't we long for yeses behind the doors, for the children of our future? The prophetess, Whitney Houston, who actually was in this space and filmed Waiting to Exhale in our sanctuary, said this. She said, I believe that children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. Children, you showed us the beauty you possessed inside tonight. You are the next generation to open doors and open hearts and open minds and open lives and open us, your elders. Jesus Emmanuel changed everything. Jesus Emmanuel changed the world. One Middle Eastern family born into poverty as refugees displaced out of fear. One child who grew, who was nurtured, in the words of Whitney Houston, who was shown all the beauty that he possessed inside, led the way and continues to lead the way to justice, to mercy, to compassion, to grace, and to love. Jesus, it seems, was born to change the world. Why would that not be also God's plan for you and me? Some people are born to change the world. Are just some people born to change the world? Are only children born to change the world? Can us older folks change the world? We're all born to change the world. I think that's the message this evening. One step, one moment, one word, one loving act, one compassionate act at a time. When we retell this Christmas narrative, this Christmas Eve, any Christmas Eve, it's because we believe in the power of one life, of one child, and of one innkeeper who said, yes, here's a space. And we believe in the power of God in Jesus and the power of God in each of us. How do we stay current? First, we make room in our hearts tonight. It's trite, but the song says, make room for Jesus to be born. It's about opening the door. It's about praying this modified Posada prayer, if you would, with me. Let's pray together. Enter, holy pilgrim, Jesus, refugee child. Receive not just this corner, not this poor dwelling, but my entire heart. Tonight is for joy, for gladness and rejoicing. For tonight I will give lodging to Jesus, the child of God. Amen. May it be so. May we commit to tearing down walls that have been built during our lifetime, and never to internalize the wall's divisive, inhumane messages in our hearts, but remain open to each other, to whomever, and to whatever God brings on our doorstep. Amen.